Welcome to the podcast where we're harvesting humor, planting delight. Join us, Iona and Cammy. Let's have some fun. It's time for Fed by Farmers.
Hello and welcome to the Fed by Farmers podcast with me, Cammy Wilson.
And me, Iona Murray.
Today we are joined in the podcast by Mr. Riley Wheatcroft from Stow Ag. I was going to say Stow Ag, but it's Stow Ag, all the way down somewhere near the Cotswolds or near Adam Henson's farm, as seen on Clarkson's farm. Jeremy Clarkson wears a Stow Ag hat all the time. So we're going to hear from Riley a little bit later. First of all, who do we need to thank?
We need to thank Herdwatch and Crystalyx.
Thank you to Herdwatch and Crystalyx. I'm actually going to do a wee phone call with James Nisbet talking about Herdwatch, because honestly I was on the phone to him yesterday and he was waxing lyrical. I don't think I've ever said that in a sentence. Do you like that?
I like that.
Aye.
He's waxing lyrical.
Aye.
Well, that's something I would say.
He's waxing lyrical about Herdwatch now because I should know this, but I didn't. And I still need to put my calves on the app actually. But he's saying that when he records his calves on Herdwatch, it notifies Scott EID and registers it for you. So you don't need to then go on Scott EID and register it. You just register on Herdwatch and it does that. And he also says when he buys cattle or sells cattle through the market, it automatically updates the prices and stuff on Herdwatch. Must all be linked through Scott EID somehow.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how it all works, but I'm going to get him on the phone to tell me about it and we'll do a little bit. We'll have a blather with him anyway. I think that'd be a good thing to throw in, just a wee phone call.
Yeah.
So thanks to Herdwatch for sponsoring the pod.
Yes.
And Crystalyx, I was actually filming with Crystalyx this week.
Where are you?
Yeah, they're doing a sort of farm flicks, grassmen style, like over the shoulder. Graham, the market manager, and Jason, their editor, videographer, both come out. We just went about in a bit of banter. They just asked questions about farming.
Nice.
And we just went out, we saw the cows and we went and put some ewes and lambs out and we actually just had quite a good laugh.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good.
So that's just use like social media and stuff.
Yeah, they're just going to use it. I think they're going to put out a YouTube video. I think the thing is to just go to farms. Anyone watching on YouTube, there's bits falling off. It's all very temporary. We've moved studio, in case you can't tell, we've moved studio into a porter cabin at the farm, and things are just kind of dabbed on the walls, and one just fell off. But temporary.
I'm not practical, am I?
No, but that's
not.
okay. That's okay. You're yeah. Anyway. Hope you're enjoying watching on YouTube. So that's the thank you to the sponsors. They genuinely do make this happen every week. We're going to do this one, the chat with Riley, we kept it quite short because we're actually fencing that day. We're using the Fetra fencing. We're going to talk a bit about that in Stow Ag. Fetra fencing is the metal fencing with a 40-year guarantee. It's got a Magnellus treatment, which is 3 times longer lasting, I think it is, than galvanised. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I still don't quite understand what it is, but 40-year guarantee. Did that with the Samson boys, so a bit of footage inserted into that on the podcast if you haven't seen the vlog. And it's just an interesting business. They're just keen to get on. So yeah, thanks to them for supplying that fence. So what we're going to do before we start we're going to do a kind of Friday catch up here in this vlog as well, this podcast as well, to beef it out for you guys. But first, let's hear from Riley and get the crack with him, and then you come back to us and you can hear what we've been up to. Here we go.
Crystalyx Extra High Energy feed blocks have been providing high energy supplementation to ewes, lambs and rams in the UK since 1978. Packed full of protein, vitamins, minerals and trace elements, Crystalyx Extra High Energy has been proven to increase live lamb numbers and improve lamb daily live weight gain at a cost of only 4 to 7 pence per ewe per day. To view the full Crystalyx range and find your nearest stockist, visit crystalyx-global.com.
And we're joined by Riley Wheatcroft. I just dove into it there, didn't tell anyone what was happening. I just caught you out. Iona.
Yes.
Let's start for the creeps that are watching on YouTube. What age do you think Riley is?
Whoa, good question. I think Riley's somebody who could be 29, but he could also be like 21.
So I want an answer, please. Imagine you're sitting. I'm Jeremy. We're going to talk to Jeremy Clarkson. Imagine this is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and we're sat here, and you need to say final answer.
22.
Decent effort. It's just turned 20.
Yeah, you've got that look though. I think at first glance you would think older, but actually quite young. 20.
I was surprised because he presents himself well. Hopefully we're about to find that out. Riley, great to have you here.
Thank you, Cammy.
You
Yeah.
are now. You tell us who you are.
Well, I am Riley Wheatcroft, obviously. So I work for Stow, and we're here today to do the Fetra fencing at Cammy's farm, 250 metres of it. And Stow are the UK stockists for the Fetra fencing.
What is Fetra fencing?
Fetra fencing, it's a metal livestock system. So it's got strainers, struts, anchor posts. That all comes with one system. So that's your sort of a strainer package, as you call it. So that comes as it is. And then you got your intermediates, which is probably your normal stabs or your general stakes for.
Do you call them stabs down there?
No.
You've just heard me saying that all day.
Yeah. We just know that Scottish do, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you call them, stakes?
Yeah, just stakes, yeah. And they're round. We don't have square.
Okay.
You only have square stake?
Yeah, the only square ones we'd have, it was 5x3, so 5 inch by 3 inch. And that's for post and rail, but nothing for your livestock.
What, so there's no square posts?
Well, there might be some in
south?
the corners of somewhere, but I personally haven't seen any. No.
Right.
No.
Interesting.
The culture, it's just amazing. I wonder why that is. Do you know why it is?
There must be a reason.
No, don't know. But we can't really get a head around it because every time you do your fence, you have to get it cock on straight. Well, saying that, there'll be a few people saying, no, you probably don't. But, well, with a round post, you can just put it in straight away. You didn't have
Yeah, it
to
doesn't
line
matter
it.
if
You
it's
don't have to
twice.
line it up or anything, yeah. So.
Yeah, so what you're saying is Scottish
Yeah.
fencers are better because we
Yeah,
can
probably,
do it
yeah.
with square posts? I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
I felt like that.
No, we can do
Yeah,
we can do
like
square.
that.
Yeah. Right, okay, but you just choose not to because I can do it, mate. Like,
Yeah.
I've done some.
you've
I've done some at my grand's.
And we pulled out again.
Yeah. Pulled out again. I was giving those round posts back actually.
Yeah.
That is a good cultural difference. I did not
Yeah.
realise that. Right, okay, that's
quite
interesting.
interesting.
So the Fetra fencing, sorry, you were explaining, is metal.
Yeah, it's a metal. Yep. So it's metal post and wire. So
Okay.
you can use basically any net on it. So you got your tornado. We also do a small. That's what Stow sell. And you can put your X net and things on it, but you may miss out a few clips because as wire, as you probably know, has different spacings on some of the different brands. And then you can also get it goes into technical sort of HT8, H15, and you get your C8s and all different size nets and
Very technical, but
so what the best thing about that is that the Fetra range covers from like livestock. So with livestock, you've got 2 different posts for 2 different hinge knot and fixed knot, and then you got your goes right up to deer. So you go through rural fencing, dog fencing, horse fencing, otter fencing, badger fencing.
Do you do chickens?
Yeah, can they? Poultry. Yeah, we do
Poultry,
poultry
yeah,
fencing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Otter fencing?
Yeah.
What's that like?
It's got a little bit of a kink at the top, so you got a little you got a bracket that goes on the top to stop them climbing over.
Honestly, I've never heard of otter fencing in my
Yeah,
life.
well,
I can't even tell if he's taking a piss. I know. Interesting. I know. Otter fencing.
You got emu fencing? No.
Honestly,
No.
otter
not-
fencing.
Yeah, otter
Was that a
fencing.
piss taker? That you
No,
do?
that is a real. Yeah, that is a genuine thing.
Otter fencing.
Yeah, it's for. Look it
Do
up.
people have? I'm not. No,
Yeah,
I
so
can
it's
tell
for,
you
it's for
bases.
it's around ponds. So like if someone's got koi carp or like a big fishery or something that they want to raise your. I don't know.
Okay.
It's for keeping them out. Yeah.
Right. I suppose we just
Not
I mean,
for keeping as pets or farming them or.
Yeah, maybe in my head I did actually initially think keep them in, but keeping them out makes more sense when you say like that for fancy fish and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised there's even such a demand that you'd bother making them for that. Like you can't.
Yeah, it's more like specials. So there may be a few jobs that you get quite a bit on, or So it's just another option.
Just
That's
another
what that's
option.
the beauty of it. Yeah,
And I take it metal fencing is just better because it lasts longer.
correct.
Metal.
And it's I don't think anyone's done an exact test yet of like side by side runs, but it's a lot quicker to put up. Well, saying that, you can probably get you that with your stakes and stuff if you want to. There's some fences out there you can do it in just as much time, but for me putting one up, it would be a lot quicker doing it because obviously you've got your nail guns and everything else, but for a farmer you don't have to. Well, if the farmer hasn't got a nail gun or a staple gun or anything like that, you can't. He doesn't have to hit them in with his hammer or anything else. He can just clip it in.
Yeah, there's
in.
no staples. It just clips straight in. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
That is the.
Yeah.
There's a few amazing things about it, but that is one of them. Interesting you're saying about speed. I would have thought. Having watched Rory and James Whiteford and Duncan working at it today, I would have said it's quicker, but now I'm not sure. Like, we've done a lot of blethering and stuff to slow things down.
Well, when I came over earlier,
Yeah.
there wasn't much happening.
No, I know. We were supposed to do this
we
podcast
were.
3 hours ago.
Yeah.
We've done a lot
They're
of
probably done by lunchtime if they.
I absolutely think they could have been, but we did a lot of blethering and just a bit of crack and having fun. But
Exactly. It's more. That's probably the time on the strainers and things like that. If you.
but once that's done, it's
Yeah.
it's like
exactly,
the fence is done.
Yeah.
So once the strainers are in, that's all they need the track machine for. The rest of it's
Yeah.
just roll the net out. They just
With
use an air compressed gun to ping, ping,
Well, as
ping.
an engine, yeah.
So my
Yeah.
point is it's better for farmers if they want to do a lot of fencing themselves. You just buy this compressor gun. You could, most people have access to an old chapper behind a tractor because
Yeah.
it doesn't need much to chap them in. They're just wee metal posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not heavy.
No, it's like
No, that's the beauty again. If you're doing hill farming, whatever, you're going up steep hills, just even taking them up, it's just a lot lighter to just carry or put them in your quad or whatever. Just
What's it? Is it like a lot more expensive?
it is, yeah. It's more expensive, but then you got your lifetime. So with your
Okay.
stobs or whatever you're going to call them, you got 8 years out of them probably max. What's that over 40 years? That's racking up £4 each, as Rory was saying. That's however much it is, but over a lifetime,
you're talking 20 quid
you're
to
saving
replace them.
saving a lot of money.
But it's
Yeah.
the tightest of
Yeah.
labour. It's not just the
Exactly.
Listen,
You got to get a whole
you're
contractor
obviously
back. and-
you're obviously
yeah.
here to punt Fetra fencing, and which is fine. I don't mind that at all. As long as we're all open and clear, like
Exactly,
we're
yeah.
punting Fetra fencing. But like the labour's a big factor too, and also interestingly, speaking to Rory out there.
Who's Rory?
Rory Sampson, a fencer. So he's on TikTok.
Yeah.
You can look him up on TikTok and Instagram. But making the point, and to be fair, Davey Cooper made this point, I think, in the very first podcast we did on Fed by Farmers, was that, doing a fence now, well, when you if you have to replace that fence, if you buy cheap wood, Davey, he was talking about he's buying this good hardwoods from Eastern Europe and stuff like that. And his point was, if you buy cheap now, it's going to cost you so much more in the long run.
Yeah.
And you could argue same wood versus metal. If you buy, yes, wooden stobs are cheaper now, but in the long run, they're £4 something a stob just now.
Yep.
In 8 years' time, the way this world is,
Correct.
it could be £8 a stob.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bang on.
Do you know what I mean? And if you need, and we're saying 8 years, real, I mean, a fence with a lot of pressure will sit for a lot longer than that because the stab's rotting the ground, but the fence still stays up as long as the strainers are all right. But that's not. I'm sold on it. I'm sold on it, and not just to be clear, you guys have provided me this fence, and we're making a video about it, and we're talking about it, but we're doing it because I saw you at NSA Malvern, and you won me over.
Really?
And, I thought it was class. Like, it does make sense because wood is just shocking.
Yeah.
And if you can get something that just lasts a lifetime, 40 years, and you can track them down in 40 years. No, you'll be like, who the hell put that fence up again? What was the name of that company? Stub. Oh, no,
You're
it's
getting
not.
mixed up between stobs and ag. Yeah.
Yeah. What folk don't know is they change their name every 10 years.
Change company and it's fine. Yeah.
40-year guarantee, but they change the name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Every 10 years.
Change hands. Yeah.
So I want to know how folk would see that branding that you're wearing on your chest there, and it might ping a wee bit of familiarity with them because you did get some good PR from Mr. Jeremy Clarkson. Is that right?
Yep. Correct. It was sort of accidental. We didn't push ourselves into it. We did no pushing of him or didn't speak to him or anything else. He just got and said we're coming to film. So yeah, he
Wait, come and film where?
at Stow.
I just
So
buying
it
stuff.
was-
Just
I can't remember which
right,
which
okay.
season it was, but it was one where he came in and looked through all the shirts and there's about 50 shirts on the rack. But yeah, they
but he also wears the hat. Last
Yeah,
season he was
correct,
wearing the hat all the time.
Was
You know, you get
he?
a free hat for your
Yeah,
merchant.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
Stowag or
Yeah.
Cars or whoever it is. You get a free bonnet. Well, he
Yeah.
wore that for loads in that last season.
he's done a lot on that. Yeah, because there's quite a few like on the Farmers Weekly and the Telegraph and all this that and the other. If they do, even just general media companies, if they're actually posting pictures of him, they quite often do it with his Stoic hat on. There's actually quite a famous one of him stood next to Caleb holding a pig with his gloves on. You probably think of that one. Yeah. That one's quite viral and yeah, it's just literally is just for a chat. As in we don't push him. We don't.
Is that
We
the?
don't do anything.
Did you see the meme that? There's a good meme going about. You're just talking about with the pigs there of Jeremy Clarkson like running about in the muck with the pigs, and then it's like so that's the top half of the meme, and the bottom half is the Lord of the Rings thing,
Okay.
and it's like Amazon spent $1 billion on the Lord of the Rings sequel, and more people watch Clarkson's Farm.
Wow.
You are
Yeah,
joking.
apparently so.
Really?
Yeah. So they spent $1 billion on it. Apparently, that's don't believe every meme you read, but I just
That's
did
so
laugh. I
funny.
couldn't believe it's true.
Yeah, yeah.
I would do.
Because
You watched Lord of the Rings?
the new thing.
No, the old ones.
Yeah, I've seen old ones years ago. They're good. They're great films. I'm not one of these Lord of the Rings geeks, but they're great films. Like I do think they're. But it's the macho hang into it. I like battles and like I like epic. Like you think all is lost, and then Gandalf appears from nowhere and charges down the hill. It's
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
Do you?
Yeah, of course.
It's just a man thing. Do you
Yeah,
like that?
very manly.
It's like Lord of the Rings. What was the thing with the a lot of nudity?
50 Shades of Grey.
No, I genuinely have never seen that. No, the really famous one with the dragons. It was huge, and then it was a terrible ending. Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I do.
I didn't watch that.
I like the battle scenes and all that. Yeah, it's good. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Yeah. So just to go back to Jeremy Clarkson. So what was that about? Did he just come just that one time, or has it been like more?
He has always been a customer. He's been a good customer.
And does he actually buy the stuff? Like what's
No,
the
his
script?
team would do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he might. You never know. He may always pop on the website or order a few things through the account. But yeah, it's a good account. He's a good customer, and
I just think it's nice that he wasn't on it. You going like I'm going to wear a Stow hat, so.
Yeah, can we get this? Or
But then he's so rich, he doesn't need to.
it doesn't matter.
And he is very pro farming and pro farming businesses. Like he's proven that. Is Caleb a customer?
yeah,
He is as well.
Yeah.
Do you sell grass seed and these things too? Does he?
Yeah, we do.
Well,
Yeah.
he doesn't do so much grass, does he?
But yeah, we don't do the bulk for like your field out the back sort of thing. We would just do like grass seed for lawns and people who pop in and want a bag here and bag there.
What's your big seller? What's your thing?
Fencing and feed, cattle handling systems. So like hurdles, Crystalyx.
Yes, shout out to Crystalyx.
Yeah.
Nice drop there.
Yeah.
Do you do?
There's loads. So main things would be those. Yeah, fencing, feed, animal health.
Do you do like bulk feed?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, we can get you blown.
Do you have
blown
like
in
Stow Ag branded bags?
Yeah,
and
we
all
do.
that?
Yeah,
okay.
we've got that.
Big time.
so-
We're thinking about opening a shop.
Okay.
In fact, we are opening a shop, I think, but not
Good.
going bulk feed or anything like that. But we might.
No, as in we don't have our own sort of blowing lorries and stuff. We do that.
You
through our
facilitate
suppliers.
it? Yeah.
Great.
But a lot of places do that.
Yeah.
But we're thinking initially we'll have the merch and all that kind of stuff on it, and then maybe some. I like the Gallagher electric fencing. We spoke about that with the solar panels, a wee bit of that, and maybe some Crystalyx.
Yep.
With space for 10 ton of Crystalyx to sit in the corner.
Yeah.
No, 1 ton.
Whole lot
Do
of
you a
bed.
ton?
Yeah. How many tons do you got in stock?
Wouldn't know. Sorry.
That was your chance. You just wing it.
I'll call a friend.
Just tell me. Would you have 5 pallets sitting? Nah.
Yeah, loads. As in, would have Arctics at the time. Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay. Is it quite a big yard? Yeah.
Yeah, we've got 11 acres overall, so that's 3 acres of field, which is just at the barren at the moment. But then, rest is concrete and hard standing.
I see. Actually, it's on a farm, is it? Or
No, it's just on just in a village called Longborough.
Owned or rented?
Owned.
Owned. Okay. And who actually owns Stow Ag?
My dad.
Your dad owns it outright himself, or with partners?
No, as in with my uncle Ben.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
your
So
dad
how
and
did
your
it
uncle.
all start?
So I should have got the dates right, but
Just say them with confidence.
Yeah.
I believe you.
so back in the day, Grandpa, he started a furniture business that was secondhand and everything else, and so that led through to what it is today, which is a fit out business. So commercial fit out, so office furniture, office fit out, warehouse fit out, things like that. And that was the company that Dad was running at the time. So back in 2011, and he sort of looked into the future and things, and a local company was it was going well, but they think they went through hard times and things, but decided to buy them out. So that was Stow Ag, and that was back in Stow on the Wold, which was just by the traffic lights. If you've ever been there, probably a few people watching may have been there.
Oh,
But
to be somebody that knows
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So there's quite a small shop there compared to what it is now. But it was like one of those sort of pokey little shops, and it was good shop. And then we obviously grew and grew, and so that was back in 2011, and then in 2014 we moved to Longborough, which is where we are now. And
Sounds nice, doesn't it?
yeah,
Does
Sounds
sound
quaint.
nice.
Sounds quaint.
which is it's about 4 miles down the road.
What's the average house price in Loughborough?
In Loughborough, good question. Probably about 800, 900.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quaint.
yeah.
Nice. Is quaint the right word? Quaint's nice.
Yeah.
Quaint. What do you think when I say quaint?
Quaint, I think like beautiful individual houses.
Yeah. And idyllic.
Yeah.
Cottages.
Low crime rate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cottages.
flowers.
Is
yeah,
there any crime?
Low
Yeah,
crime.
bike theft. No. That's probably about what it gets to. Yeah.
And now I'm thinking Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no, it's the safest village.
Yeah.
Loughborough's actually the safest village in English 5 years in a row. But there's actually a secret underground syndicate going on
Yeah,
that
it's
just
got serious.
all the
Yeah.
yobs get locked
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and taken away.
No, so yeah, that was then, and I can't remember how. Yeah, the acreage to start with was just a small. We had one main building in the middle, so that was a shop, and it had offices above. Still the same.
And this
today.
is for the fit out. This is for the
no,
furniture.
this is for Stow. Sorry.
Stowag,
Yep.
yeah.
The fit out was in Coventry. So,
Yeah, but you've bought.
Yeah,
your
bought
dad's bought into Stowag.
yeah, he bought the company. Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
you bought this fit
No.
out company, so they started with that company.
Sorry,
and
yeah,
built up to
yeah,
buy out. No,
yeah,
I must have
correct.
misunderstood.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and so yeah, we got that premises down the bottom there, and yeah, so that is now where we have all our stock. We got a lot of fencing stock, and we actually now got our own fencing team solely focusing on fencing. So
We're actually employed.
employed by Stag. So
Yeah,
it's still the same company,
Yeah.
just our own dedicated team to contractors. So it's
Actual fencers, like you send them out to build a
no.
fence.
No.
Oh, sorry.
So
sorry. Point
we've-
of contact. They sell to
correct.
fencers.
So we sell
Yeah,
to
sorry.
people like Rory,
Yeah,
and there's plenty of them around the country. So yeah, we've got 4 of us working on that. So we solely service those fencing contractors.
So that's the one. Obviously, it's a big. If there's 4 of you working that flat,
Yeah.
it's obviously a big part of your
Yeah, it
business.
is, yeah.
And
Yeah.
how many employees are there?
What in Stoag?
Mm.
40, 50, something like that.
It's
Yeah.
some wage bill.
Big
What's
operation.
the
Yeah.
big turnover?
Yeah.
What's the annual turnover at Stowag now?
It is about 18 to 22, something like that.
Wow.
In that range.
That's thousands he's talking about
Yeah.
if anybody's wondering. No, that's that's big business.
Yep.
Then it's
Yeah.
growing up well. So your dad and your uncle obviously got an eye for business and how to grow
Yeah,
something.
yeah. So Ben sort of looks after the fit outside of things, and then Dad looks after Stag. So yeah.
And
That's
was
good.
it sort of set for you? That's what you always were going to go into?
Yeah, so I obviously during school holidays and everything else, I've always worked at Stow, and I've just been around there. As soon as I was 16, got a forklift license, things like that. So just always been there. Never done much else apart from work, but whether that's good or bad.
Have
but,
you ever worked anywhere other than Stowag?
in the holidays, I did a couple bits here and there. Yeah, in the warehouse, but yeah,
Just totally
yeah.
brainwashed into.
Yeah,
But
basically,
that's good.
no.
That's like farming.
But no,
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's like a farming business. It's
exactly.
like
Yeah.
you're just following your father's
Yeah.
footsteps, whatever. And
yeah, I personally love the people, the agriculture, the culture is good. Yeah.
Did you did you care about your exams and stuff at school?
Yeah.
Did
I was not very brainy, not very academic.
Are you not? You come across as
No, I'm like maths and English. Probably a few teachers if they watch, but I cannot.
what did you get in your grades? Did you do fifth? I don't know how
Oh,
England
now you
works.
get me.
Did you do like we call it
Extra.
hires, but I think they maybe call it GCSEs.
Yeah, GCSEs.
Or O
Yeah.
levels. O levels.
I did no.
What's
GC
higher?
So
GCSE or O level? What's higher?
never. I've heard.
Am I making that up?
Yeah. but
Okay,
yeah,
so there you
old.
go.
I know, I've
No,
heard of
you're too old. No,
I don't know.
Or maybe they've changed it.
Or maybe
Oh,
O level.
Yeah.
Only 13.
I know he's so young.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Back
So
in my day.
yeah, GCSEs. I did all the sort of standard maths and English and that. But our grades actually changed to numbers, not like A or B
Yeah.
or
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got a 5 in maths and 6 in English or 5 in English, and then I think geography was the highest, which is a 7 or something. But yeah, that was about it. As in that's out of 9 or 8. I think
Oh, it's
yes.
9 or 8 the best.
Yeah.
God, it's so
Yeah.
different in the Scottish
I
system.
know.
Yeah.
Like Scottish, I don't know what to feel Scottish system changed since we were at it, but the numbers when you were like 4th year, it was like the lower number the better, and then letters it was like A was the best, which is
Yeah.
traditional.
Yeah.
I think an 8 is like an A star, but then
Okay.
a 9 is like top 10% of the country.
Right.
So like
Wow.
if you get a 9, you're quite good. Yeah.
I would
So-
say so. I've
Yeah.
never heard any of that stuff.
No, me
That's
neither.
interesting as well.
But no, yeah, it's just
So no farming background then?
No.
Just business background?
correct. I've kept sheep and stuff like that. I've had 22 Rylands and
Yeah,
things
so
like
you've
that.
got, you've got some experience then of
so-
lambing sheep and
Yeah.
the heart.
Well,
that
not
goes
no
with it.
lambing, no. As in, I've done lambing on other people's farm and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but not my own lambing. No, just sold them for meat.
Who lambs your own?
No,
you don't lamb them?
No, I don't lamb. Just
Right.
for meat. Yeah.
Oh.
I just bought them in at just after they'd been weaned and then sold them on again. About however long later. Yeah.
Just to see
when they're up to weight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you live on a somewhere with land?
No, as in this was just some friends' land. They just
Right. Okay.
very kindly free rent, so that's all right.
Yeah. No, good man.
Yeah, it was
So I
good.
take futures to take over Stow, is it?
Don't know yet.
Don't
No.
I mean, it's obvious, but don't say it here. I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
Have you got
No,
siblings?
Yes. Yep. Got a brother who
nightmare.
is 23.
Okay.
And he's in the same business
Good.
and same team as well, so in the fencing team. And then we get on quite well. So there's no fallouts or anything.
No
so it's good.
fighting.
No, nothing.
When was
like
the last
that,
time he's had a fight? Like, I wonder for our boys, like, when will it
Yeah.
stop?
no.
When did you last have a fight?
Like a
like
physical
a proper
fight?
physical fight.
I don't
like,
think they've ever physically fought.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, sitting down, but he's about 6'4",
Yeah.
6'3".
Or something.
6'3". So, go on, when did you last have a physical
I
fight?
don't know, probably like 11 or 12 when I literally wouldn't
Oh, that's all right then.
have. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all right. That's
Yeah.
respectable. I can do another 7 years of this. Yeah,
Just more when they
like
get a bit
to fight.
annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one likes to throw a random dig, and then
Yeah.
it just escalates into
Exactly. Yeah.
crying and screaming.
Carnage.
Yeah, carnage, exactly. So you've been on the same thing, potential future to run the business. You
Yep.
get cousins, your uncle got some
Yep.
kids.
So no, he's got 2 kids who are quite young. They're only 3 and 5 or something like that. So,
Right, okay, yeah.
So yeah, they're growing up, but so just work with Hayden and see where we get to. But
But you're,
yeah,
you're 20,
Exactly.
see what
Yeah.
life brings towards you.
I am,
But you're
yeah.
obviously, as I say, we're here talking mainly about Fetra and
Yep.
and pushing that side of things. You guys have designed this.
Yeah, correct. So
it's UK made, which is your big selling point.
hang on.
And anyone we've done a full sheep game video about it, and anyone watching YouTube will be seeing loads of clips of it being dropped in here as we're talking about it. These posts we're looking at, you're looking at what, £11 a post roughly.
Yep.
Which is like your stabs and intermediate stabs. Then you're like £100 a set for the
Yeah,
posts
basically.
and stay.
Yeah, around 100, bit more, 110. So,
110 quid for
Yeah.
it'll go up all the time as life does. So
Yeah.
at time of recording, it's about 110. The post and stays, because you watch this in 3 years' time, it'll be
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
correct, yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
more. So it does, I mean, as we say, it does come to a lot more money. But anyone that's watching the videos or seeing it on YouTube here and just visualising it, I like it. I do like it. I said to you, the only thing is, it's just slightly, it take a bit of getting used to.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it just doesn't look like a farmer's fence.
Yeah.
It almost looks like clinical. Is that a kind of thing? You know,
Yeah. Neat or just
well, a nice wooden fence. Is,
Modern.
Is,
Yeah,
is
just not
nice,
got
modern,
character.
modern.
Yeah,
Modern.
yeah.
It's not like a
It's like
traditional.
a new build.
yeah.
It's like a new. Yeah, it's just something that's almost out of
Exactly.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
If you know what I mean, on
Yeah.
a farm, and
So-
it's beautiful, but
Yeah.
it's like different, and that's the incredible thing about it. So, are you finding a bit of resistance? Are people winning over? Like, are you selling a lot of it?
We are, yeah. So it's interesting you say about it, because there is absolutely everyone says about it and says, "God, I don't wonder what it looks like," because I've seen other people's bit like shiny in the sun. That's fine, but it will, just takes time to get used to. People will start. Everyone keeps saying, it will suddenly just switch like that and just be like, metal's the way forward. But with the sun and things like that, just a little selling point. But like other people's, some of it can shine really well in the sun, and just you can just see it against hedgerows and stuff. But because of the Magnelis treatment,
Okay,
we'll get into
It's
that in
dull.
a bit. But it's a duller colour. It's a bit more just nice on the eye
Yeah.
against the hedgerow.
what is Magnelis?
It's a better
Coating.
treatment than Galv. So it's almost like a zinc sort of bonding. I don't know. I'm not technical minded. I'm
Yeah, you
afraid,
just know
but-
it's better than Gavin.
Yeah,
Have you
it's a
heard
lot
of
of-
it, Magnelis?
I
Yeah.
have not.
No.
I've never heard of it.
No.
It must be a type of. What is galvanization actually? What is? It's
You
obviously a
can like
process.
dip it and stuff, can't you? I think.
It's obviously a process, but is it a type of metal itself, or is it a type of what is galvanization?
I would say that is the process.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
bit-
galvanization is a process, but what is the stuff that's
What are
going
you
on?
actually
it?
putting
What
on
are you
it?
coating
Is
on
it
it?
zinc? Is it not zinc?
Is it zinc?
I don't know.
Zinc
That-
sounds
no,
good.
that-
Oh,
does
sounds good, doesn't it?
It look.
Yeah.
Imagine zinc looks like galvanization, so
Yeah,
it
me
makes
too.
sense.
I don't know.
Isn't there just so much in life that we just don't question?
Lots.
So much, isn't there?
Well, not but don't question. We are questioning it.
No, I know, but-
What you should say is there's so much in life we just don't know.
True.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the vasectomy thing again. With a wee incident with we're talking about vasectomies and tups for teaser tups.
Yeah.
And it got to talking about after the vasectomy, does anything actually
Yeah, I
still
see.
flow out and all that? It was intense. Like
I think a lot of people wouldn't have known that.
biology is intense.
It is.
Yeah.
That is
And
intense.
it's just the reality.
So back to Fetra. It's
That's crazy.
coated with this stuff. It's not going to
Correct.
rust. You're
Yep.
giving me 40 years.
Yep.
This offence is going to last.
Correct.
I spoke to you though about being the hard sale of the traditional farmers and stuff, but I think you're now at a point where wood is getting so bad and
Yeah.
things are getting replaced so often that I honestly think it's an easy sell now.
Correct.
Like I think you're on to a winner. Like anybody doing this these metal posts, I think you're on to a winner.
And I've just worth putting in the for like estates and big houses and people who want metal but they just don't like look at it, as you say. They do a powder coated version, so you can do it any color you want, any rail color. So our most popular one's the green, so that looks really smart against hedgerow or something like that. And
Yeah, because you hardly see it.
yeah, bang
Yeah,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you-
And you can do it. Say like if the estate or the Crown Estate has got its own sort of color it uses, you can do it to that rail color. So you can do. So say if you're fed by farmers blue is a certain blue, then you can do that in your color. So
Oh, you can have it
You
customized to
should've
anything.
got
yeah,
sheep
do
game.
anything. Yeah,
Sure, got them red.
yeah.
Red and black.
The
Go back to
interest,
the can of spray.
Interestingly, you're talking about those estates, like where Lizzie's from, like the estate that owns her parents' farm. I'm sure it's like all the houses owned by the estate are painted like salmon pink,
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
Right.
and that's like their colour. So
Okay.
like all the house, you'll see houses all over the place that are
Yeah,
like
yeah.
salmon pink, and they're like owned by the estate. So they'll be like gamekeepers' houses or
Yeah.
part,
Yeah.
and that's just like you say the colour
Yeah.
theme. I think that's what you mean. That
yeah,
kind of
bang
thing.
on. Yeah,
Yeah, and I'd never heard that before until she was telling me that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dumfries House, they had colour themes and like with writing, like we had to be a certain, and it was this exact
Yeah.
shade of like red, and like they created your own
Oh,
font
and
and
it's, like,
everything was that
trademarked and you have to
colour.
stick
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's fantastic. Really, we're obviously, I'm conscious we've stopped in the middle of fencing to come and make this podcast. Can you hear that chapping outside? I hear chapping outside as well, so I don't want to miss the ending of it and the boys getting finished up. Is there anything else you want to add in before
No,
we anything else you want to
no,
cover?
it's just good to be here, and thanks for letting me do some fencing.
Mate, generally,
Yeah.
thank you. Like
No.
that is going to be
Yeah.
that was my big concern because the fence we're doing is roadside,
Yep.
blind summit. We're already getting lambs out on the other side, the plain
Yeah.
wires, but at least it's a nice big straight. They can see them
Yeah.
coming. That one was going to cause an accident.
Yeah.
So before we get reseeded, getting it fenced is a big help. So thank you for that. And
Good.
shout out to Stow.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
I'm sure big things in the future.
absolutely.
Thanks,
No,
mate.
Yeah,
Thanks,
good nice
Cheers,
one.
cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks again to Riley for that.
Still can't believe he's 19,
20.
20.
Yeah. Class, innit?
Yeah.
Mature young man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very mature young man, very nice young man, likes the sheep game, and that's how we kind of got chatting. And they offered us this fence, and there'd be a bit of money in that fence, like 250 metres that Fetra fence.
Like how much?
Pass, it's £11 a post. I've not counted the posts, and then a roll of netting. So yeah, that's pretty much. And then the labour as well,
Mm-hmm.
the Samson boys and James Whiteford, the labour of it all, I suppose as well. So yeah, a bit of money in it. I wouldn't even know. Is the honest answer. I wouldn't even know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think like a normal net fence with wooden post stabs is like £11 a metre now. Maybe that's wild. Maybe that's miles off.
Right. So like £11 a metre, and how many metres was it?
250.
250. Yeah.
But that's for the wooden ones. The metal will be
Yeah,
slightly
it'll be
dearer. So
more.
it could be, I don't know, it'll be £4,000.
Yeah. Good
Something
on
like that. Which actually, when you think of the cost of everything else in farming and whatnot, isn't actually that crazy.
I know.
now
I thought,
say
to be
it.
fair, I thought it was going to be more
Maybe it
than
is
that.
more. Maybe it is more.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm miles
yeah,
wrong there. So do not quote me on that.
Mhm.
It could be miles more, actually. But that's where we are. Anyway, Iona,
Yes.
let's do a wee chat because we won't get a Friday chat. We're lambing. We're under
No,
the
we're
cosh.
busy.
How have you been?
I've been really well.
Yeah.
Yep. Had a really nice time. Moved home for lambing and got that really nice spell of weather.
Yeah, it was class at the start of
Mm-hmm.
April, end of March. How did your dad's lambing go?
I would say overall well. I would say that actually that weekend there's probably the busiest couple of days.
Yeah, it was
Um,
stinking. A couple of dirty
Yeah,
nights.
aye. But I would say overall well. We're hit early on with dysentery, lamb dysentery. But it seems to have cleared up now, and now it's just the usual
Yeah, okay.
bits and bobs.
As he picked out, last year he said he was driving around the field, the two lambs, did they do 65,000 each, the two top lambs?
Oh, the ones that were twins.
Aye.
Was it 65 and 60?
65 and 60. Well, so John, Iona's dad, who's obviously been in the podcast, he had a ewe that her two lambs, she ran as a twin, and her two lambs, one did 65, one did 60. I think that was the prices. It was certainly around about that.
Yeah.
Incredible, two top lambs. And he said, like, when he went round the field, and this was during the horrible weather, and it lambed outside, obviously, and he went round and saw it, and he just knew it was like,
There.
they're a belter. Because I think sometimes if they have a really good top lamb, you'd lift a lamb off them, wouldn't you?
Yeah, a lot of people do.
There's a bit of jiggery
A lot of people do. Dad finds it hard to do that. Like
Yeah,
when they're
'cause
all
it's-
running together and they're a nice wee unity. Aye.
But I do understand why folk
Oh,
do it, 'cause
absolutely.
it
It
makes
makes
your top
sense.
lamb bigger and stronger.
Yeah, it makes sense
But
to
I
do
think
it.
he said that they were just so good. Both of them were so good. He just let her run as is, and obviously turned into absolute. So has he had any like that yet? Has he mentioned any?
Well, it's so early to tell. I wouldn't. They're looking good. I would say we're happy with how they're looking, but I mean, they're just wee tiny lambs.
He'll probably
right
have
now.
ones in his head that he's like, oh, but
Maybe.
you don't
Maybe
want to
look
jinx
at
it by
that.
mentioning
No,
it.
aye, exactly.
Yeah, no good.
But yeah,
Anything else? I see you've got a new car.
I have got a new car. I know we didn't discuss that.
No. You just went ahead and did it without discussing it with me. Which is...
Do you want to know something? I went ahead and did it without discussing it with anybody.
Did you?
I came out the garage. All I did was went in to see how much they would give me for my Duke. Came out, I'd bought it.
Now that's a good salesman, isn't it? She's been absolutely done and she doesn't even realise it. She just went in to see what her car was worth and she's come out with a new car. That's a good salesman, isn't it? He's absolutely done you wrong.
Yeah, but do you know what though? He wasn't like a typical salesman at all.
Now that's a typical salesman, is it not? He's made you think he's not. He made you think he's your pal.
Yeah. No, but he wasn't like. I felt like he didn't care whether I bought a car or not.
Oh,
Do you know?
he's just a class act. Yeah. He's done you brilliant.
God, he has.
So yeah, I know. Now you think about it. What interest are you paying on it? Or what's your
9.9%.
9.9%. I wouldn't even know if that was good for a car.
I checked the
Probably is
bank,
alright,
and the
actually.
bank said they would be 12.5.
Well, we've been looking at loans recently for the for the farm and whatnot, and 9.9% would be good. I think we were looking kind of 10% ish plus.
Right.
So yeah, it's okay. Over how many years?
5.
5 years. Wow, that's a big stretch.
5 years. I know.
5 years is a long time. It's a
I
second-hand
know.
car as well. It's 2 year
Yeah,
old.
but it's only done 11,000 miles.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And what kind is it?
It's a Ford Puma.
It's a snazzy looking wee thing, actually.
Quite
Ford
nice.
Puma, yeah. Do you think? I almost feel like Puma should be like the term that comes for. In fact, you could probably be in the Puma category.
Right?
You know, before you get to Cougar. Cougar's probably what, 50?
What's Cougar like? Just
a-
like a
I think it's a lady that's like 50 and like.
good looking.
I don't think she needs to be good looking. I think she just needs to be,
But-
gregarious.
Chancy?
It's gregarious. Chancy. What does gregarious mean?
I'm not sure. I kind of feel that I know the vibe of it, but I don't really
The vibe of it.
know.
Well, that's all that matters.
Right, okay.
So yeah, gregarious. That could be the right word, but chancy would be more Ayrshire appropriate.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's a bit chancy. I think that's what a cougar is.
Right, okay.
And I just wonder if maybe that between that 30, although you're not 30 yet,
No.
but could 30 to 50 be a Puma?
Yep. Yeah, I would say it could. Puma, yep.
Do you know, we'll make that a thing.
Well,
You're too young to be a Puma, right enough still.
no, what am I?
Just a lassie. just a lassie, a single lassie,
Yeah.
basically. But in 2 years' time, you become a Puma. Something to think about.
Excited.
You'll still be paying that motor then. So no, that's good. Anything else to report?
No, I've not got anything else to report. How are you? You look tired.
Oh, very tired. Oh, definitely overdoing it. In the sleep department especially. Yeah, we'll need to staff up a bit next year, I think. It's the nighttime thing.
Right, so
It's like your pens are out of water, bed, and it's mostly me and Lizzie. You know, we've had a vet student did Monday to Friday, sort of 7 to 5 for a week. Our mate ours Owen came in a few evenings for a couple of weeks
Yep.
and was helping a bit, and so that helped a lot. But now it's back to just me and Lizzie, and it's like she try to get that kids to bed. It takes a couple of hours time
Yeah.
to do the bathing
Yeah.
and everything, and in bed, and then it only takes a couple of problems outside. It's light to like back of 9 now.
Yeah.
So you need to keep charging on until it's dark. And yeah, it's next year I think what I'll do is I actually think next year I'll just put them all in the shed and have somebody on the night shift
Right, okay.
and just have a nice routine. Like I
Yep.
used to alarm at a place and I think they absolutely had it right. They started 1st of March or actually end of February with some Blueface Leicesters, but you know, they night shift lammer for the mules, for the blackies actually I was lambing inside, but I did a 7 to 7 night shift.
Yep.
So 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
the 3 on the day shift finished up. There was 4 of them in the day shift actually. Finished up,
What a nice time to get done.
done.
You're home, you have your tea, have a shower,
Get your tea.
good sleep.
You can sit and watch a wee programme
Yep.
on TV. You get your outdoor sleep plus,
Yeah.
and then start again at 7. 7's a late start as well.
And you're good, you're ready to go.
Yeah, and like 7's a late start at lambing time.
Yep.
You know, we're up
Oh,
at
yeah.
5 every morning, and it's like 7. So we're now like at midnight and then up at 5, which is fine for a few nights, but we're definitely
Yeah.
the amount of arguing and stuff we do, and although we're getting on great this week, right enough. But you can't. It's like you're tired.
Oh
and,
yeah. Everyone's just annoying when you're tired.
yeah, just. Yeah, but lambing's been great apart from that. You know, I'm not moaning. It's been great. This is all our own doing. Like, we just should have had something better lined up. But night shift will change the game.
Yep.
And just put them inside. It costs more. It's a lot more work. But the structure of it's very easy. You know, it's
Yeah.
very
Oh, yeah.
routine. And also, it's very easy to get staff because you don't need to have any skill.
Yes.
Within reason.
Yeah.
You know, hence
Yeah.
why you can have vet students. You just need people to water pens,
Yep.
bed up, you know, pen up using lambs as they're born. Even lamb and sheep doesn't take a lot of, there's times, but lamb and mule ewes doesn't take skill. You know, there's the odd one that's difficult.
The vet shouldn't. Rachel, she seemed to be getting right in
She was
there
class.
with it. Yeah.
Brilliant.
She got, yeah.
And you know, I'm always like, we get loads of requests, as you
Yeah.
know. We'd actually said no to Rachel
I know.
initially. And then Jordan, who's been on the podcast, messaged me saying, you need a vet student. And it worked out great. Rachel came and gave us a hand, but definitely, like,
You're a bit weary sometimes.
well, it's not just that. I don't know what I thought with vet student, but I was wrong. Like, I think we'll have 2 for the day shift
Yeah.
next year.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we'll sort something better. But lambing's been great. Weather on the whole has been fantastic. Lambs are good. I've had a couple issues with Crystalyx disease. Had a yow die unexpectedly. Got a post-mortem. It was Crystalyx.
What is that?
So, because they're not in the Heptavac,
Okay.
we don't vaccinate our yows.
Why not?
It literally, they were always on it, and then during COVID we couldn't get it, and it basically became a toss-up between, you know, double jag them to get them back on it at obscene amount of money,
Yeah.
you know, for 1,200 yows, or foot vax. I couldn't do both,
Okay.
so we foot vaxed,
Right.
and I would still rather foot vax than. And this is just me, guy. I never talk about not the non-vaccination thing on YouTube because I don't want folk to think it's the right thing to do. It's
Yeah.
no. You should Heptavac your sheep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or a similar vaccine. But yeah, it was a financial thing at the time. Like, we couldn't
Yeah,
do
you
both,
had
and the
to.
lameness was getting ridiculous. So we did it. And honestly, touch wood. See, since we've done it, I wouldn't bother doing it. You know, we're getting away with it. All right,
Yeah.
we have had a sheep drop dead there, but you have sheep die even when you Heptavac.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's, but we double jag all the lambs. We're gonna double jog all the
Okay.
lambs, probably with Covexin.
Right.
So that'll get started next week or so. So they'll all get double jabbed. So they'll be sorted. And I had a couple lambs with pulpy kidney, I think was the verdict from the post-mortem. Again, just because the mothers aren't Heptavac, so there's no cover over
Yeah.
into the lambs. But again, you get things dying anyway. Like, we've had 2 or 3 out of 800 that are running about. You know, it's laws of average and whatnot. I'm not too panicky about it yet. And yeah, we'll just keep pushing on. I'm going to creep feed a lot of lambs this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
I'm just getting right into feeding lambs and hogs. I just see the benefit. Like, feed's cheap compared to the price of lamb. And if I can get more lambs finished earlier, I could probably winter more yows, lamb more sheep,
Yeah, make more lambs.
and produce more lambs. And I just think feed's cheap compared to the price of lambs at the moment. There's other benefits too, and really interesting. I got speaking to a guy at United Auctions one day, and he'd hooked lambs in very similar to mine, but just with a much nicer finish on them. This is back in July or August, and he said, you know, he puts the creep out of his lambs. He says one thing that's a massive difference is they're weaned, they're crep fed, not from birth right enough. You know, once they get a certain age, he starts putting the hoppers out, and then he gets them weaned, and then they're already on the hoppers. There's hardly a check. And then he puts them onto silage fields after the silage is off on the hoppers, and he says the power of the dung you get out of them is meant he's reduced his fertilizer output on this thingy.
Really?
Because he puts a pile of lambs in his
Yeah,
silage
okay.
field, feeding them, like, you know, they're on ad lib feed, so they're shitting all the time, and it's just good high fibre dung.
Yeah.
And he says he's noticed a big difference in
Wow.
the grass growth, like, and it's reduced his fertilizer thing. So there's another benefit there.
Interesting.
One I never thought of.
Yeah.
So that's another potential benefit. So yeah, we'll see. It's running about keeping hoppers full is a big issue, but yeah, I think I might try it. I definitely should be with the early lambs, early lamb and sheep. I think creep feed them and catch that early market. Although the lamb trade's not flying just now, hopefully it'll bounce back a wee bit. But it's still good. We'll see.
When do you finish lambing?
Good question. No idea.
Do you know?
Well, the tup's still in with the hogs. I'm not even joking. He's in the shed. He's in the shed. Well, they're on such a good winter, and that tup is the one I got from Graham Lofthouse. Now we've got OPA in the mules.
Right.
So any tup that goes with the mules, I have to keep them separate from
Yeah.
the tups that go with the Cheviets. You know, so we've got tups kept separate already. So rather than lift that tup out and put them in with the Cheviot ones, which is what we'd have done to keep them away from any potential OPA, I says, well, he's on a good winter. Just let him run. We scanned the hogs, took the empties off, and you know, we've kept empties right through till due date. Now they've not shown any signs of being in lamb, and they're working away, going to market now. So yeah, I just thought let them run.
Yeah.
Everything he's with in lamb anyway.
Aye.
So
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No.
You know, there's loads of folk who do that.
Yeah.
Loads of folk who run like tup hogs. I don't know if your dad does it. A lot of guys will run tup hogs out with the ewes and give them a feed if they're on good grass or whatever.
Yeah.
You can run with the ewes and lamb. Like
Aye, we've got tups in our fields.
Aye, that's what I mean. Like you can, like your dad's good tup hogs for selling for shearlings or whatever. He'll put out his what do you call them, the AI ewes?
Aye.
Can you, because they'll be in the best of grass, I'd imagine now. So like you just
Shove them out.
you shove them out with them because what they're gonna do. The ewes on the cycling.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's no hassle. So yeah, that's where we are. I don't think much more to update on that.
It's almost going to be show season,
Almost show season.
isn't it? It's just round the corner.
It's terrifying. No, good. So week looking forward. We're under pressure this week to get a podcast guest in, eh?
We've got, I know,
We've got
somebody
one on
booked
Thursday.
in Friday.
Friday, yeah. So we'll have one next week. That's good.
We'll have one next week. And we need to do a Friday catch up and go through the people's questions and voice
Yes,
notes
thanks
that
to
they've
everyone that
sent in.
sent us questions.
We've just, it was a bad time.
Well, we could do one now because I was speaking to the chap yesterday who asked this question.
Go on.
He asked if should a farm shop be allowed to be called a farm shop if it's not on a farm?
Interesting. Yes.
Why?
Well, I think it can't be a blanket no, because you could still get farm shops that serve farm fresh produce.
Okay, but every shop that sells food sells farm produce.
Not farm fresh though.
What you mean?
So I'm
farm
meaning
fresh?
like meat that has like come from your farm.
But it's not on a farm.
Yep. But I mean like it can be traced to a local farm.
Okay, but you could probably argue like Morrison's with their beef shorthorn range is very
I
traceable.
hear what you're saying there.
It's not a farm shop, although they maybe call themselves a kind of farm shop, but it's not a farm shop. Give me another example. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, by the way. I'm on the fence about it, but I think to have a good debate, you need somebody arguing
Yep.
both sides. So you've said yes, so I'm arguing for the MD listening and wondering where I'm coming from. I'm arguing the other side of the argument.
Yeah, that they are. So I'm saying yes to a farm shop.
Yeah,
They're allowed to be.
and I'm discussing it with you from the point of no.
No.
Just to open the
For
debate
me,
up.
I also feel like I think when somewhere's called a farm shop, there is a certain feel to that kind of shop. It's more, I don't know. In my head, it was like more local produce, nicer.
Yeah, but
It's not big brands
do
that
people
they're
just-
stocking.
Do people call it a farm shop, and it just means you can stick more of a margin on it and
Partly, probably,
do more boutique stuff, niche stuff.
probably.
But what's the difference between it and Morrison's or Waitrose or?
Yeah, but it's more expensive and people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
from this side of no, like what's the difference between
I
them?
know what you're saying.
If it's not on a farm?
If they're supporting smaller businesses, like I would say Morrison's, they are their stockists like they're not supporting anyone like small businesses.
Well,
Whereas I feel
Morrison's
like
buy a
farm
lot-
shop.
No, Morrison's buy a lot of lambs direct and cattle direct from farm. I don't know about cattle, but they certainly buy a lot of lamb direct from farms. You're same with Marks and Spencers. A lot of people have good contracts with like small sheep producers.
Do they?
Yeah, have contracts with Marks and Spencers.
Yeah, so what is the difference? I don't know. I don't see why you would blanket say no to them though.
Do you get a farm shop that isn't on a farm though? I can't think of one. Do you know any?
No, but I would say, what's that one in the services?
No, but that is a farm. TB,
TB.
but TB is a farm. Shout out to my mate Sean Morgan. He's working for them.
Is he?
Yeah, TB. That was a farmer. That's
now okay. So that's
that is a farm. I accept that as a farm shop.
But they now own the one at Douglas,
Do they?
mm-hmm.
And
it's not on a farm.
well, there you go. It's a wee bit different though because
Yeah, they'll be using the same produce.
aye, and it is on a aye. See, that's where it's
But
a
it's
grey
on
area.
a farm. But then, what are they actually utilising from the farm?
What in TB?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's not the argument. If it's on a farm, it's obviously a farm shop.
Yep. With you.
You know, my
Yeah,
argument
of
is if
course.
it's not on their farm, if they're just building a shop somewhere and calling it a farm shop. But I don't know. I can't honestly think of an example of a farm shop that's not in a farm. So maybe this argument is redundant.
I've just got one last one before we go. If you could make one Scottish law to do with agriculture, what would it be?
One Scottish law. Somebody asked that question. That's a good question.
I know.
Have you had time to think about it? Have you got one?
Kind of. I think I could do better. I've not thought about it enough.
Well, let's hear the
I've
kind
got
of.
one. I feel like I knew what yours would be.
What would it be? About the
About
Leeds?
dogs and Leeds.
Oh, that is. But is that an agricultural law? That's not really an
to
agricultural law.
protect your.
I mean, first one for me is it should be absolute law that if you're on. I mean, I'd go further and say if you're on public land or private land without permission, your dog should be in the lead by law.
Yep.
Absolutely should be. I think, and I think that will come eventually. We just like there'll be a few more tragedies of children killed, and they'll
then
bring that
that'll
in. I think not so much sheep because they don't really care about sheep getting mauled, but children and things like that might change the perception.
I have to say, the people who Dad's come in contact with this lambing time, like because of every year walkway goes through our farm, they've been really decent. Like, you know what I mean? Like Dad, but I think he's changed his demeanour. He goes in very much with like friendly farmer. I'm like,
That's the way
sorry,
to do it,
it's
though.
just for this 3 weeks, and then you can do what you want. Well, not do what you know what I mean, but and then every day's I've been absolutely bang on with him.
Yeah. No, to be fair, that is the way to do it. Kill them with kindness, and then if they're assholes, then you can escalate it.
But then Dad's point was, though, when he's been like that, if they came back aggressive, it would just be ridiculous because Dad has been so.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But that's a lot of farmers are guilty of going in high,
Yeah.
and then the whole thing's high.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the
'Cause they're
energy is
expecting
just.
you, so they've got their blood up. If you
Yep.
go in going, "Hi, right, how you doing, mate?" It throws people off the
it
kindness.
does. Yeah.
It used to be like when I was dealing with Neds in the work, you know, they try and wind you up and say things to you, you know, they'd
Yeah.
slag your maw or
Yeah.
pick part of your features and slag you.
Yep.
And if you sort of laugh back with them and were friendly, it threw them off and eventually they were brand new,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Because you're going in with an expectation.
Well, I can tell you a great story. It's a wee tangent, but it's a bloody great story. Of an old cop I used to work with. His name was Davy Fraser, and he's retired now. And he was old school, like really old school, very old school. And we were working one night down outside the Corinthian, which is in, near Queen Street in Glasgow city centre. And we were just in uniform, and we were walking along the street, and there's this lassie going absolutely mental at the bouncer. I mean, I say lassie. She'd be 40, like
Right, okay.
she'd be somebody's mum, like going off her head. The bouncer wasn't letting her in because she was too pissed. She was absolutely steaming drunk.
Yeah.
The bouncer had said no. So she's getting all shouting abuse and all that, and you know, go to speak to her and she starts shouting abuse at us. And then, you know, we take her to the side to get away from the door, and she lashed out and like just volleys me, and well, not volleys me, just kicks out with her heels like into my leg, just like
Sore.
fuck you, like you know,
Yeah.
swearing and kicks out. I wasn't even that. It was a wee sare, but it wasn't that sare. But anyway, right, arrest. You know, right, you're getting to jail, police assault, and breach of the peace, whatever it was, because she was just way up here,
Yeah.
mental, steaming drunk. That was the bother.
Yeah.
Anyway, get in the motor. This and it was an old mobile office thing. So he sat in the back on this weird bench thing, and the three of us are sitting there, and she's going off her head. shouting and bawling and saying all this nasty stuff and swearing and all that, right? And my big mate Davey just turns to her and goes, "Do you get in the Human League?" While she did not, and totally threw her off. She went, "What? I ken the Human League." It's like, "Do you know the song Don't You Want Me Baby?" And she goes, "I ken that song." Like, still all frowning. He goes, "Mum will sing it." I promise you this is true. He goes, "Mum will sing it." And he just started, "You were working as a waitress in a cocktail bar when I met you. He goes, you picked me up, you turned me around, you sent me down." And then it got to the chorus, and she starts joining in.
No,
I swear to God, and like, because she totally shut up. I thought, don't you want me? And she starts going, "I know you can't believe it when you see that I don't need you, don't." And see, by the time we got back to the police station, my mate just goes, "Tell you what, get a £40 ticket for the breach of the peace and let you out here and just piss off up the road." She's like, "Sound, mate, sound." Took her ticket, and I swear to God, I swear my life this is true. It's so imprinted on me, just like great policing.
Yeah.
Just great policing. Totally de-escalated it.
Yep.
Didn't need this police assault and all this nonsense,
No.
'cause I wasn't giving a shit.
No.
It's all paperwork.
Yeah,
You're the
yeah.
ticket for the breach of the peace. It's a £40 slap in the wrist for being stupid.
Yeah.
So she got out the van with the ticket in her hand. I'll never forget it, right? Her shoes in her hand, right? And her ticket in her hand. And she's walking up the street going, "Don't you want..." I swear to God, two hands going like this. "Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh." And walking along Stuart Street Police Station like at like 2 a.m. on a Sunday morning. I'll never forget
That
it.
is
It was just
brilliant.
such good police. Such
That is- yeah.
de-escalate it.
Absolutely.
You could rise to it and be like, "Oh, I'm the big man,"
Yeah.
and all that. Like, no big
No.
ego. It's just, and it caught me out because like,
yeah.
you don't argue. You sit and listen to us. He goes, "Do you know the Human League?" So there we go.
That is brilliant.
A great wee story, yeah.
That is.
That's just always
a
stuck
great
with me.
story.
Anyway, on that great wee story, we'll end it there. Shout out to Davey if you're watching Fed by Farmers. He might be actually.
Really?
He was a good lad. He might see this. I might clip this for Facebook and he might see it.
Yeah.
Hope you're well, Davey. Anyway, that's it for this one. We'll be back next Tuesday with another podcast. Thanks again to Riley and to Stow for the Fetra fence. Do check them out. If you mention that you've heard about it on Fed by Farmers or the Sheep Game, there's a discount on the go.
Oh,
Give
brilliant.
them a phone to discuss that and get more details. I've been Cammy
I've been Iona.
and we are all
Fed by Farmers.